Underdog Painting, how's it going? Just give this a refresh, hopefully it will... What is going on? There we go, good. I'll mute that. Now I will continue, I'll begin. Hello everybody and welcome to this stream, this video. I'll try and keep tabs on any comments. But yeah, so in this video we're going to look at some a list of which I think is going to be very strong for Slaves to Darkness for the Nurgle build. I think we're going to see this kind of build a lot in tournaments, at least for now. And we have to bear in mind that this is using the list. This is going to be the list I have, basically using what I have to make as strong and more competitive list as I can with the Mark of Nurgle and Slaves to Darkness as it is, without having to go out and buy more Demon Princes, which we'll get to in a second. So this is going to be a list on using the Plague Touched Warband as our base, and it's going to be a 2-drop list because we have 8 units that all go into our battalion, and our Demon Prince, which is a 1-drop outside of the battalion. Everything else sits in it, so it's a 2-drop, making it nice and easy to deploy, and it's going to cause a lot of bother for a lot of armies. So starting with the heroes, I always enjoy the Chaos Lord on Manticore with the blade and the lance. The lance potentially doing 4 damage with the turn he charges with 6s to wound. It can be pretty devastating. You can kill a monster with that pretty easily. Rend 2, damage 3 or 4 if you roll a 6s to wound. Not giving him, in fact, we'll do that while we're here. Mortal Realm, I usually go the Realm of Fire because, one, it's thematic for what the theme of my army, but also for the artifacts. And if we go to Akashi, actually, even there two the two that I like to give them. There is Ignac Scales, which is really handy, ignoring mortal wounds on a 4+. The other alternative to this is using the Realm of Beast and giving the Griff Feather Charm, so the +1 movement and -1 to hit can be very useful, but in competitive scenes, a save against mortal wounds is very important. And then we have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore, again another monster, but that goes into the Despoilers Legion, because that's what we're going for. So we're having 3 monsters in our list, all of which can heal potentially in the hero phase. And then we have our Demon Prince, which has the Radiance of Dark Glory, which is another 3+ potential heal of D3. So 2 of your monsters can be healing D3 wounds at the start of your hero phase, which I've done this before, was very useful. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Manticore, give him Binding Damnation in case we can make units fight last. He has his own spell for combating hordes, which is also very useful, and they're not too bad in combat. The Demon Princes, we all know what they do by now. The Diabolic, give them put my teeth in. The Diabolic Mantle, so to generate D3 extra command points at the start of the battle. So we'll start with a minimum of 2, maximum of 5 command points, which we need for the Slaves to Darkness. Nurgle Demon Prince is for his command ability. I forget what it's called. Bloated Blessings, I think it's called. And we are going to put that on any unit that we can, that we know is going into combat, especially into combat with units that deal out lots and lots of attacks against hordes. The Bloated Blessings, you're going to watch units destroy themselves, rolling 6s to hit you, causing them D3 mortal wounds, and then 6s to wound you, causing an additional mortal wound. So that's the idea with this. We're going to walk up to the face. We're going to take some damages because our units aren't that amazing, but they're going to kill themselves more than anything. And against armies that don't deal with mortal wounds so well, this is going to be great. So against Mortek Guard, it's going to be brilliant. And other things like that. And we have a Sorcerer Lord with the Mask of Darkness. So he is there. He's going to be teleporting our unit of Marauders, which charge a minimum of 8 if you roll a 2 on a charge after teleporting. So it's relatively safe to get a minimum of 9-inch charge with our Marauders. And yeah, this is the idea. We're going to have some monsters that are going to terrorize them. The Sorcerer Lord, he's going to sit back with probably the Chaos Warriors and give them the Oracular Visions, so they're re-rolling their saves. Because there's only 10 of them, so once they lose one, they lose their innate ability to re-roll saves. Our Marauders, which is what we are going to teleport across the board, if we can. We don't want them with flails, we want them with axes and shields. Chaos Knights, 2 units of them. I find 2 units to be better than 1 unit of 10, and it also helps make up the battalion that we have, having them in 2 separate units. Cursed Lances, again, the same sort of principle as the Chaos Lord on Manticore. It's for 6s to wound when they charge, rend 2, potentially damage 3. They can really wreck some face the turn they charge, providing that they hit. This is why if you can cast Demonic Power onto them before they charge, they are really good. So they're even better rerolling to hit than to wound. They speak for themselves, really. We have the War Shrine, because how can you not take it? It's so good, helps you guys survive, and its prayers are so useful, especially in this, because it's effectively with the Mark of if you pray for the favor of Undivided, you effectively get a second attempt at demonic power, rerolling to hit and to wound. Or you can go for the Nurgle buff, which is a +1, it's rerolling to wound and +1 to saves. So, and that will sit well on any of them. It'll go well on your Chaos Lord, it'll go well on. You can't put it on your Demon Prince because it's not mortal, I don't think. I could be wrong. Still. But yeah, it goes well on any unit. Chaos Knights with a 3+ save is always good. Plague Touch Warband. The Balewind Vortex is going to be for the Sorcerer Lord. So he's got that extra range and can cast another spell. And he can then also potentially cast the 8-fold Doom Sigil, which again, trying to give people extra attacks is really, really useful. And And there's not a lot more to say about this, really. The only thing that I would suggest with your units of knights and your Chaos Sorcerer Lord, if you're giving him the blade and the lance, don't keep them in combat for 2 turns. You charge them in, and your Chaos Knights, if you stack one flank with both units, you charge one in 1 turn, and your next turn you retreat the first unit and then charge your second unit in, cycling the charges to get the most benefit you can. And the same with your lords on manticores. You don't want them stuck in combat. Ideally, if you find them in combat with some sort of horde, don't be afraid to retreat them in order to get another charge later on, or secure a position, or just keep them alive. Because while they have 12 wounds and a 4+ save, that can be dealt with fairly easily with the right units and a good opponent. So again, you want to keep your monsters out of trouble as much as you can, and use them in a way where you can leverage their benefits, where you can capitalize on having monsters that are still alive that you can heal. Because it's no point in having the ability to heal monsters if they're dead. And again, I did this before. I had it with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, got into combat with a unit of 30 Dryads. He was never going to kill them all, but he killed a bunch of them. They put some wounds on him. And then in my next turn, I healed up at the start of the hero phase, and then retreated him. He doesn't need to be in combat. So it's best for a Chaos Sorcerer Lord to be using his magic if he can. So I retreated him out of combat to a safer place, central to the center of the battlefield, where my opponent had to either commit to attacking them, leaving his objective free, or sit back and ignore him. But that's how you need to use these. With Slaves to Darkness, you have to use tactics. They are not the beat stick that you really want them to be. They're good, and they can deal a lot of damage in combat, but there are some units that you just will not break. And that's what Chaos needs to do. They need to break units in combat. Cripple them or destroy them with nearly said combat resolution then. Battle shock. If you don't destroy them in combat. And yeah, if you find one stuck in combat and your next turn is still alive, retreat him, charge something else in that can do some more damage, focus on keeping your army alive and scoring the objectives. But that's pretty much it for this video. I can't think of many other builds for Nurgle that are particularly. I still think the spoilers. Changing the 2 Sorcerer Lords and Manticores for other Demon Princes is not a bad idea. I've seen people using a second War Shrine. That's not a bad idea. Another thing you could potentially do is ally in a Harbinger of Decay. So you have a 5+ save followed by a 6+ save on the War Shrine, or the other way around, whichever way you choose to do it. Making your units more durable. Anything else that I can think of? Not right now. You could swap the unit of warriors. You could swap them easily for a second unit of marauders to have 50 more points to play with. It's not a bad idea. I only have the 20 marauders right now, so this is what I have to go with. But another unit of marauders would not go amiss with with this battalion. Again, Chaos Knights, you don't have to take the units of Chaos Knights, you can feel free to swap in other units. Just make sure you have the 3 battle line. But I think Chaos Knights with the Cursed Lance right now are really good. Chariots are not a bad shout, but you might as well pay the 30 points more that you get for the almost double the wounds and the higher damage output. And again, endless spells are always good. You don't have to take the 8-fold Doom Sigil and the Balewind Vortex. You could easily take the Run Scourge Rupture, which is a good one for Slaves to Darkness, or if you try to go endless spell heavy, you can it'd be worth putting in the Darkfire Demon Rift. But yeah, that is going to conclude this video today. So let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, etc. And we will see you in the next video, where I'm going to be looking at possible Tzeentch Slaves to Darkness lists, which is probably going to be a little more interesting. And yeah, I'll see you again when we get to that. Until next time, take care and happy